A man by the name of Miguel Hidalgo de Castilla began his studies with Jesuit priests prior to their expulsion. After their expulsion, he continued his studies, becoming a priest in 1770, but by the early 1800s, he was more a secular priest. He declined to take a vow of poverty and owned several businesses, and he declined to take a vow of celibacy, having several children with several women. His teachings questioned the power of the Pope, the virgin birth, and the need for clerical celibacy. This at one point had led him to being called before the Mexican Inquisition, but he was found not guilty. When a drought hit his hometown, he and others began to plan a coup. Fearing that the plot had been discovered, around 2:30 in the morning, Hidalgo had the church bell rung and called his congregation to give a speech that came to be known as the Cry of Dolores. While the exact words of the speech have been lost to time, most agree the message and the sentiment was a call to reject the monarchy and the social hierarchy of the time, calling for the lower and middle classes to rise and revolt against the elite. While this message tapped into widespread discontent with Spain, there were few clear shared goals as to what would come next. His second-in-command would later say of the uprising, quote, "Neither were his men amenable to discipline, nor was Hidalgo interested in regulations." Roughly 800 men on horseback left Dolores and rode through the area gathering support to eventually march on Mexico City. They reached an estimated 100,000 supporters when they were on the edge of Mexico City, and would likely have won a decisive battle. But Hidalgo decided to not take his forces into the city, leading many to desert. Eventually he and his men were captured and executed. On the day of his execution, Hidalgo thanked his jailers for treating him well, and said, quote, "Though I may die, I shall be remembered forever, and you all soon will be forgotten." History is awkward.